You're having another great day and you have good taste tuning into WOCA The Source with Ocala Talks and Tom Schmitz. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks as we wrap up hour number 3 of the show. In studio with me today, representing the Marion County Commission, is Roger Waddell. He's the public relations specialist with the county. Roger, good morning to you.
Good morning, bud. I appreciate you having me.
Let's start with talking about something that's near and dear to me. We talked about Molly. She retired.
Yes.
Molly retired yesterday. She did her last commercial. She brought the pet registry, pet abuse registry as Molly's Law in 2016, I believe, or 18. But the reason I want to bring that up is the passing of Betty White, an icon in the entertainment industry.
Absolutely.
She asked people, her people asked that in lieu of her passing, instead of sending flowers or something, make donations to animal control shelters, animal humane societies and everything. And the Marion County Animal Services joined that nationwide Betty White Challenge this month.
That's right. It was a tremendous success. Of course, as we all know, Betty White was a lifelong advocate for animals. And the challenge actually started on January the 12th. And the challenge lasted until January the 31st and provided an opportunity for the citizens of Marion County to help provide a better future for the animals and being cared for by our Animal Services Department. The greatest part of all of this is Animal Services received over $8,000 in monetary donations in less than 3 weeks. Does that speak volumes for Marion County or what?
And not only did 8,000 there, but the other shelters in the county all received money as well.
That's right.
The Humane Society, the SPCA, WOCA, they all did. But the largest of all of the shelters is the Animal Services, the County Animal Services, the largest of all the shelters. And to get over $8,000, I can buy a lot of dog food, a lot of cat food.
That's right. What it does is it provides an opportunity to help the animals currently sheltered at the Animal Center by improving the multiple aspects of the center, the kennel spaces, the adopted animals that are waiting for their forever homes. And then the Animal Center's enhancements help with the overpopulated shelter because our Animal Services shelter, unfortunately, is continually overpopulated. And
that was brought up because it became a no-kill shelter.
That is correct.
2 years ago, I believe.
That's correct. And these funds help maintain that no-kill status.
Right. So really kudos to Marion County for stepping up with the Betty White Challenge and really coming out and giving money to a very worthy cause, the Animal Services Shelter.
Absolutely.
At the county.
Absolutely. And something that I do want to say, if you are interested in volunteering, fostering, or getting involved, donations, anything like that, you can always go to marionfl.org/animal to get more information.
Some good news for Dunellen.
Great news.
The Little League in Dunellen had some great news. Tell us about that.
So a $50,000 donation and a challenge to match was recently accepted by Marion County government on behalf of the Dunellen Little League Sportsplex. Our county commissioner, Miss Kathy Bryant, and Marion County's Parks and Recreation Director, Jim Coulard, accepted the donation from Jim Gissy of Dunellen. And Gissy reached out to Parks and Recreation after visiting the Sportsplex and recognized that there was a need for the help with rebuilding the Sportsplex, improving the amenities. And Marion County agreed to match that donation.
So they actually got $100,000 total.
That is correct. This new community partnerships adds several members to our community who assist with Parks and Recreation in their mission by providing scholarships for campers and small projects via the Friends of Marion County Parks and Recreation Foundation. So yes, $100,000 towards the ball field and the improvements within that.
Yeah, I knew that. And this all goes to infrastructure, which has suffered over the last 10 years as we were coming out of the Great Recession, and we needed to put some things on the back burner to make sure that workers were able to continue in their jobs. So some of the infrastructure stuff got put on the back burner, and now it's being addressed. And people say, yeah, well, we're doing streets and everything. Well, sports complexes and all are infrastructure too. And I know there were some safety issues and all in Denellen, so those are going to be addressed with some of the renovations and everything, because it was an older sports complex that needed a refurbishing.
Sure, and I mean, with the staff that we have on there at Parks and Recreation and the facilities maintenance crew that we have and the expertise coming out of both of those departments, this is absolutely going to be a dynamite type of improvement, and we're looking forward to that. And, of course, we can't thank Mr. Gissy enough for the charitable donation to the county. And
50,000 smackaroos.
My goodness
That's
gracious.
really stepping up.
That is stepping up big time, and we appreciate it.
And then the county matched it. That's really cool too. For a total of $100,000 that goes to Denellen.
That's right. I mean, our county commissioners take these things seriously, and they understand the need as well. And they've really stepped up to the plate, if you will, on this one.
Marion County Day is coming up. It's I think it's the 177th anniversary.
178.
178. See, I've already lost a year.
Yes. So the Marion County Day, what a day it is. So we're excited to actually invite the entire community of Marion County to celebrate our community of Marion County Day, an event that highlights Marion County's unique 178-year history. This event will be held on March the 26th at the McPherson Governmental Complex. It's right there off of 25th there. And we are excited to host this family-friendly event at no cost to the attendees. So you can get out there, have some fun, get some treats, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And then at Marion County Day, you can enjoy different things like food trucks. You'll get some cold beverages, desserts. We obviously have a kids zone that's sponsored by our Parks and Recreation department, and it features lots of recreational activities, games, inflatables, archery station, petting zoo, and more. And to also help with entertaining our adults, we have Marion County's history at Memory Lane, an exhibit showcasing artifacts that date back hundreds of years, along with presentations by local historians. So we ask that you please come out and enjoy everything we have to offer at this year's Marion County Day, and we look forward to seeing you there. We really do.
I'm on the Marion County Historical Commission. I'm one of the members of the Marion County Historical Commission. And the Memory Lane project is a very good project because while, yes, you got things geared towards the children, you need to also understand the history of Marion County and the history of things that are very important, like the Fort King Fort, the Seminole Indian Wars, and how important they were in establishing the United States in Florida. There's the rich history of of Ocala before it was Ocala. There's the sheriff's department it's 178 years old as well. There's a history there.
Well, you're teaching me things that I don't even know about.
There's a history there, so
that's right.
A lot going on with that day, and you can learn things about Marion County you never knew. And you get people like George Albright, who's the tax collector, but is a local historian. He'll be there giving you his knowledge. You have Commissioner Craig Curry, who is an amazing historian guy.
Yes.
Works with the Fort King Fort Monument and everything. So it's really a good day. And every now and then they even let kids crawl around fire trucks and stuff like that. And what kid doesn't want to do that?
I'm telling you what, right now, I mean, like, what kid doesn't want to go up there and honk those big old horns?
Exactly. Let's talk for a minute about another committee I'm on. I'm a voting member on the Litter Task Force. Mm-hmm. The Litter Task Force, it's something that has to be done, and I'll tell you why. You can ride around this county, and I do it now that I'm on the Litter Task Force. I even see it more and more. Like yesterday, I was riding around. I counted yesterday 6 couches, a wash machine, and a refrigerator on the side of the roads.
So you got
where people just decide that's where they want to put it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I counted 61 trash bags in about a 8-mile radius. Now, some of those trash bags, mind you, were marked with. I looked at one. It had a little sign next to it. It had a little thing that said for pickup, and it gave the group that had, and it was the group that had that 2-mile stretch of road. So they had left the bags there and were coming back to pick them up,
Sure.
which I understand how that happens.
Right.
But then there were other trash bags that you could tell were kitchen garbage bags and stuff.
Right.
And if I wasn't so grossed out by trash, I would have stopped and just found out whose they were and taken them back and thrown them in their yard just for the fun of it.
Oh, my.
Well, you know, there was a Facebook post where somebody caught on their Ring camera a homeowner or a renter or something taking a bunch of different boxes from TVs and stereos and computers and all and throwing them out on the side of the road.
Right.
But they had got them delivered by Amazon, so their address was still on them. So this person picked all the boxes back up. And when I say all the boxes, it's like 30 boxes.
Yeah.
And took them and took a picture of them after they put them all back in their carport and driveway of the place that had thrown them, the place that had all been delivered to.
I'm gonna tell you, we don't recommend doing
No, don't
that.
do that.
We don't recommend doing
But
that.
But I found it very funny that they did that. But these are the kind of things the Litter Task Force is addressing: is people who openly discard their trash in places that aren't a place you're supposed to do it. We have a lot of places you can go to the dump. You can go a lot of places and take care of your trash. We're trying with this Litter Task Force to change the thought process that you can't just throw it out on the side of the road.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, one of the things that we as just human beings have a problem with is litter and polluting the earth. So the fact that we are taking this and we're addressing it and we are developing plans to make this better, to make Marion County better, not just for us, but for our future. So if you want to be a part of the Litter Task Force,
come to the meetings,
that's
please.
Right. Come to the meetings. The Litter Task Force committees have been meeting separately and we're going to bring them back together for ideas during our full meeting on February the 7th.
Next Monday at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. That's right. So the group is preparing recommendations to bring to the County Commission in April. So we encourage you to stay up to date with the task force through our social media. And, of course, you can go to www.marionfl.org/litter-TF. T as in Tom, F as in Frank.
And I encourage you to come to those meetings, find out what we're doing, and look at the people that are on this committee, because we got people from the state attorney's office, the sheriff's department, the city of Ocala, the city of Denellen, city of Bellevue, radio personalities. You have interested or concerned citizens. Craig Curry, the county commissioner, is overseeing it.
Yes.
Beth McCall is the committee chair. She heads up the whole thing. But we're looking at this not from one position, but from about 5 different positions, from enforcement to teachable moments. There's all kind of ways we're doing it through social media avenues. It's just a full, well-rounded way that we're addressing these issues.
Absolutely. And again, we encourage everybody to be a part of it. We want to hear your input, and we want to take all those things into consideration as we develop a plan for our county to be better and to be better for, not like I said, not just us now, but us in the future. It's a big deal, and we're really
Monday, 4 p.m. We encourage you to show up for that meeting.
Absolutely.
So I guess there's an issue with the 911. Okay, I'm confused with it. Are certain phones not going to be able to call 911 anymore? Is that what you're telling me?
So yes, unfortunately, that is actually what's happening. According to the Federal Communications Commission, that's the FCC. You hear that referred to quite often, especially in radio. AT&T, Verizon, and the T-Mobile plans are going to phase out any cellular device that only is capable of accepting 3G cellular service. So the FCC says as providers phase out 3G services, anyone using those devices will no longer be able to make or receive calls or text, and that also includes 911. Pretty big deal.
And that's for 3G phones. So that's older phones.
Much older phones. I mean, we're running that right now. We're running into the 5G era. So those 3G phones, hopefully the majority of folks have phased out of those phones, whether it be through your plan or what have you. But some people keep them for just in case phones because those phones were capable of still calling 911, maybe having it on a boat or having it, you go hunting or whatever, you got it in your fanny pack. But the thing is, those phones will no longer be capable of calling 911. And we've got some dates that are very important. AT&T is planning to complete the 3G network shutdown by the end of this month, by the end of February. And T-Mobile is right behind them. They're planning on shutting their 3G network down by March the 31st. And then Verizon is going to go throughout the rest of the year. It's planned on the rest of the year, but they're shutting down by December 31st.
What about the secondary market, like Cricket, Boost, those pay by the month plans and all that people use?
That's a great question. A lot of those carriers, they utilize the larger networks, so customers of those providers may be affected as well. You need to contact your carrier right away, figure out which towers they're using, and those towers are the ones that are going to affect you directly. Keep in mind that the above dates, they're estimated completion dates, so the 3G services actually may be phased out sooner than what we think. So it's very important to keep up with this news if you still have and are operating on that.
And
3G network.
you brought up exactly where the only place I know of 3G phones that are still in existence is I got a lot of buddies that are on boats, and they have their 3G phones on there, the old flip phones and all on the boat. Because you can still, even if it's not turned on, you can still activate 911 with it.
Right.
So if they were in an emergency, they could use it for 911. That's not going to be an option anymore.
That is not going to be an option anymore. And so now it's time to make sure that any cell phone or devices that contact 911 are updated as soon as possible. You don't want to be in that emergency situation. You don't want to go and need it and not have it. So make sure that you make the necessary upgrades now. And we're requesting more information from the FCC, and we're working with our local dispatch centers to share more options for connecting the 3G phones to emergency communication centers. And we'll announce our findings via social media and by sharing the information with the media, people like yourself.
Time to start talking about the budget now.
Oh, man.
The 2022-2023 budget, they just approved the 2021-2022 budget, got it going and everything. We're in it. But now it's time to start the 2022-2023. Budgets are something they always have to work on, but the annual planning workshop's coming up, I think.
It is. So the annual strategic planning workshop is the kickoff to the 2022-2023. I'm still getting used to saying that.
Yeah.
Budget planning season. So what is the strategic planning workshop? Let's talk about it. This is a process which allows the county as an organization to determine where we are financially, where we need to be in the future, and what steps we need to take to make services and projects for our citizens become a reality. So during the workshop, the budget director from the clerk's office presents the current budget for the county. And then our department directors, they discuss their anticipated needs for the upcoming fiscal year. And these topics range from everything from the county being a self-insured organization to the organization's salary comparison study to projects that are specific to those departments and those directors. So
there are 3 departments, though, in the county that are they're functioning but not thriving. Tell us about those. These departments, I'm not going to even say that they're just functioning. I'm going to say that they are actually excelling with what they have. But those departments are our animal services and our fleet management departments. They're consistently over capacity. It's hard to find a day when our animal center isn't overflowing with adoptable animals. We spoke about this, speaking about the Betty White Challenge. And our fleet management team, they're keeping these public safety vehicles on the road 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They run them constantly.
And they've outgrown
well, like I said earlier,
they have.
Like I said earlier, we went through a period of time where infrastructure wasn't addressed. So they were using outdated police cruisers. They were using police cruisers that had over 150, 170,000 miles on them. And look, they put those miles on them in a couple of years. They were using ambulances that had 250, 300,000 miles on them.
That's right.
Those ambulances put those on in 2 or 3 years. It's not like you and I. We get a vehicle. We put 150,000 miles on it in maybe 8 years. They put 150,000 miles on a police cruiser in 18 months.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when I go out and I visit our emergency services departments, and those guys are constantly running. They're constantly in. They're constantly out because things are happening.
And that doesn't take into effect that we're growing by leaps and bounds.
Leaps and bounds.
And we're going to need more equipment just because of the people that are moving here.
That's right. So, you know, one of the things that we have to do with the growing population that is occurring here in Marion County is we have to grow with it. And so these two departments specifically have modified their aging buildings and their limited layouts.
The animal services building is old.
It's been
and it needs to be resized. It needs to be bigger.
It's been through the ringer. It's been through the ringer. So to the point where we're now, you know, we're looking at what we're going to do, you know, in comparison of, is it worth still rehabilitating versus building new? So
new.
Well, that's above my pay grade. However, that's something that our commission will discuss, and they're exploring various locations that might be a better fit for these departments as well. So not just, hey, let's rebuild or revamp here. We might be moving locations. So after all these presentations from the clerk's office and our departments, the county commission discusses the options publicly and provides direction for the upcoming year, making the hard decisions.
And they really are hard decisions. I mean, when you think about it, the sheriff says he needs a new set of offices and everything. I know that was put on the back burner, but he says he needs that. He needs a new command center, mobile command center, he says. I know that was put on the back burner, but I'm sure that'll be brought back up again. Animal services definitely is in need of some refurbishing. Fleet management, what they do keeping those vehicles on the road and everything
is amazing.
Is nothing short of miraculous.
Absolutely amazing. And it's not just what they're, like I said, doing more with less, and the abilities of these men and women to take these machines and keep them going at the rate in which they do is absolutely fantastic.
Park and Rec, what they offer at Park and Rec with what they're doing, you know, their building is very outdated. It's in the McPherson complex, but it's for what they do, for all the parks and everything and all the things they run countywide, to operate out of that little bitty building right there on McPherson for Park and Rec. They do a lot at Park and Recs with a little too. They do amazing jobs because they not only do county parks and all where you can go play baseball or soccer. They run things like KP Hole and
Sure.
you know, different springs and everything. They do a lot with a little as well. So, and every department I think does. And so that all will be addressed at these workshops.
That's right, and that's why we have these strategic plans. That way, these needs can be addressed and then be corrected when the opportunity is there.
And if you are a concerned citizen and you want to have input through your comments, or you want to watch the process take place, that's what these workshops are for.
Absolutely, and they're open to the public. I mean, anybody can drop in. You come into the McPherson complex, and the commission meets. I believe it's the first and third Tuesdays of every month.
9 a.m.
At 9 a.m. So you can run up in there, and your voice can be heard, and that's what we encourage.
Roger Waddell, he is the public relations specialist with the Marion County Commission. He's been kind enough to come in today in place of County Commissioner Kathy Bryant, because she is a busy lady, had things to do, and of course Miss Causey is a little under the weather, so we hope the best for Stacy as well.
That's right.
That she gets well soon. So thanks, Roger. You did an admirable job, and we appreciate you coming in.
Hey, buddy, I appreciate you having us today.
Hey, coming up tomorrow, it's a new show, New Times Friday, Dumb Crook News, plus Kevin will be here with his What's the Line. I want to give you a quick couple birthdays before we get out of here, if I can get to them real quick. Blythe Danner, she's 79. Morgan Fairchild is 72. Nathan Lane is 66. And Warwick Davis from Harry Potter is 52. Hey, I want to thank all my listeners, all my guests, and all my people who called in. Without you, this show wouldn't be possible. See you tomorrow.
This is WOCA AM, W242CAFM, Ocala, the source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
As a record number of police officers are losing their lives in this age of police reform, slain NYPD officer Wilbert Moore's sister speaks out at his funeral Wednesday on defunding the police and current policies that makes everyone less safe. Ms. Moore's comments via a translator.
How many Wilberts? How many Jasons? How many more officers have to lose their lives before this system changes? The NYPD protects us, but who protects them and who looks after their lives?
The President and the Attorney General joined Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul for a gun violence strategies partnership. That meeting will be taking place after 12 noon Eastern in New York City. A major winter storm with millions of people in its path continues today. A mix of rain, freezing rain, and snow can be expected in Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. Airlines are expected to cancel flights today throughout the affected areas. USA Radio News.
This report sponsored by IBM. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced consumers and businesses to adapt, and many of those changes are here to stay. A recent study of over 19,000 participants conducted by IBM's Institute for Business Value and the National Retail Federation reveals that hybrid shopping and sustainability are top of mind for consumers in 2022. Hybrid shopping mixes the physical and digital experience, and Gen Z consumers are most likely to blend in-person browsing with online purchases. Retail businesses are reshaping operations with new technology to make it possible. Cara Haller, IBM Retail Industry Partner.
The pandemic has changed the way we live and the way we shop. Many habits that consumers started out of necessity are now the norm. Retailers must leverage new capabilities such as AI, blockchain, advanced analytics, and hybrid cloud computing to meet shoppers where they are and deliver a fully integrated hybrid retail experience.
Beyond convenience, customers are also interested in making more climate-conscious shopping decisions, with 62% willing to change their purchasing habits to reduce environmental impact. For more, visit ibm.com/IBV.
Donations to aid groups in Afghanistan have been given the green light by the federal government.
The U.S. told international banks and aid groups that transferring money to Afghanistan for many humanitarian purposes would not violate sanctions against the Taliban. The terrorist group took control of the country in August. The U.S. Treasury Department said transactions which pay for public school teachers and healthcare workers at state-run hospitals are acceptable. In the USA Radio News Midwest Bureau, I'm Katie Lewis.
One person has died and several others were hurt last night after a Butte County shooting inside a bus in the town of Oroville, California. Oroville police are reporting they started getting calls around 7:35 p.m. Pacific about a shooting inside a Greyhound bus outside the AM/PM store. The suspect fled the scene and was caught inside a Walmart thanks to phone tips to the police department. The unidentified suspect is in custody in the Butte County Jail. Thanks for listening. It's well appreciated. We are USA Radio News.
The greatest radio shows of all time.
Frank Sinatra as Rocky Fortune.
Classic radio theater.
Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
The Pepsodent Show, starring Bob Hope.
The greatest radio shows of all time. Classic radio theater with Wyatt Cox. On this radio station or wherever podcasts are served, just by searching for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
President Trump was on Newsmax TV this week, saying he thinks the United States border, not Ukraine, ought to be the #1 issue for America. But even on that critical clash with the Kremlin, the former president said Biden has botched things so bad, all the leverage has been given to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Mr. Trump says these crises around the world would not have happened under his watch.
Because it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. This was not even thinkable. And China wouldn't have happened, and you watch what's going to happen with Taiwan now. And I think that after the Olympics, it'll be a very interesting period of time because they see the way we withdrew from Afghanistan, the horrible way, not the fact that we did, because I was the one that got it down to 2,000 soldiers, but we were getting out with strength and dignity and the equipment and no death. What happened is terrible, and the world watched, and they watch our borders where people are flooding into our country. We have no idea who they are, where they come from. And things are happening now that are very bad. I've never seen anything like what's happening to our country.
Former President Trump points out Putin has no respect for the current president.
He doesn't have any respect for our leadership. He doesn't have any respect for our country anymore. They respected our country, and frankly, they respected our leader a year ago. This was not something that was ever going to happen. Supply chain was never going to happen. Many things weren't going to happen. Inflation, when you look at that, you look at the crime rate in the cities. We made better trade deals. We did a lot of good things, but nothing happened that was negative to the United States.
My name is Lance Pry, and we are USA Radio News.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
Program may contain pre-recorded material.
This is your source for breaking news and what to make of it all. This is the Mike Gallagher Show.
This is a domino effect. It begins with Andrew Cuomo, and then Chris Cuomo being fired from CNN, and then Jeff Zucker losing his job at CNN.
It's an incredible loss. Jeff is a remarkable person.
You all saw the news. Whoopi will be back here in 2 weeks, okay?
There's more that can be done. Hey, you little fascist, that's a threat. You're not allowed to use government power to shut down broadcasters who criticize you, period.
Now, from the ReliefFactor.com studios, here's Mike Gallagher.
The Beast is very upset that Tucker Carlson called Jen Psaki a little fascist. Well, what else do you call a government official threatening podcasters like Joe Rogan? Meanwhile, some news today. We took out an ISIS leader. Grandpa Joe made the announcement this morning, hoping, I guess, that people won't notice the mess our country is in. Got an email from Michelle in Texas who said, I just received my 4 free COVID at-home tests that the government is providing. Well, they're made in China. Did you know that? I'm going to find out because I think I got mine today. I wanted to order mine. I don't need them because I got like 3,000 COVID at-home tests in my bathroom. I've been hoarding them. And, of course, I'm the go-to when friends and family get COVID, like my son Trevor did. I send them kits. If they think they've got COVID, they can't get kits. I've got a whole bunch stocked up. Trevor, by the way, I was so worried about him. He's got type 1 diabetes. He was the son that I have who was in a car accident last year. He's had a lot of health problems. And he got COVID a week or so ago. He's feeling great. He got over everything. He had a sore throat. He had a headache. He had a mild cough, but no real problems. And now he's feeling like $1 million. And now he's hunkered down in the icy conditions of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But I wanted to see what these at-home, what this process would be like. Michelle points out that the rapid tests that the government is sending to anyone who wants them, anyone, you don't have to pay, you don't pay for anything. By the way, somebody's paying for it. There's not a COVID test fairy who's cranking them out somewhere and just sending them out willy-nilly. Oh, yeah, we're paying for them. And Michelle said, when I saw that this test is made in China,
She said, I know some people will say, well, everything's made in China, but this particular product should never have been made in China. You think? China's the one that unleashed this virus on the world. If it wasn't for China, we wouldn't have our world rocked by COVID. It's so disrespectful, she says. I cannot believe that the Biden administration spent our hard-earned tax monies to China for this. I'm in shock. I made a video of my COVID test boxes, and I refuse to use them. I'm appalled. Thanks for listening, Michelle in Texas. Are we allowed to point that out, or are we going to get canceled? Does Jen Psaki want us to be canceled too? Here was Tucker Carlson's monologue, a little bit of Tucker pointing out that when Jen Psaki stood at the White House press secretary's podium and suggested that Joe Rogan should be taken off the air because he dares to talk to all kinds of people. I mean, I don't know why I got to feel like I'm an advertisement for Joe Rogan. We've got our own podcast platform. I've got a podcast. Salem has a podcast. We got great podcasters. Charlie Kirk, Dinesh D'Souza, all of us, Hewitt, Prager, Elder, Gallagher. We all have podcasts. I'm no paid spokesman for Joe Rogan, but this guy has become an example, a metaphor for the fascistic, un-American way the government and the Democrats want to shut us all down. Listen to Tucker.
There's more that can be done. Hey, you little fascist, that's a threat. That's exactly what it is. Politicians and their spokes-chicks didn't used to talk this way. They were not allowed to talk this way because the First Amendment explicitly prohibits it. You're not allowed to use government power to shut down broadcasters who criticize you, period. And now that's exactly what they're trying to do. So far, Joe Rogan's employer, Spotify, hasn't caved to the pressure. Rogan still has a job, but the company is bending. It's deleted more than 20,000 COVID-related podcast episodes made by other Spotify hosts. Spotify claims they, quote, cause harm. How exactly can a podcast cause harm? Spotify didn't explain because, of course, they couldn't explain. Podcasts don't cause harm. Weapons cause harm. Anyone who knows anything about American business right now understood what's actually going on. In a moment like this, it is virtually impossible to run a public company, no matter how hard you try. It's not just in podcasting. It's not just Spotify. It's any company with shareholders, from breakfast cereal manufacturers to tennis shoe retailers. The political pressure is coming at these companies from all sides, from activist investors, from the media, from their own employees. Every day is a brand new crisis. Imagine the emails between the CEO and the PR department. They never stop. And under those circumstances, it's impossible to think clearly, to stand on principle, or even to consider your own best interest long term. That's what's going on with Spotify. They probably don't want to censor anybody. They're being pushed to.
And where are you going to turn in corporate America? Until corporate America pushes back and recognizes, I always think about this with actors and performers and singers who denounce Republicans. A lot of us Republicans have spent money with you. We help make you rich. Hey, you dummy Bette Midler. The people you trash help make you rich and famous. And, you know, you look at companies, everywhere you turn, whether it's the NFL or Coca-Cola or Major League Baseball, American Express, the movie industry, all these companies are woke, or trying to be. And as Tucker points out, they don't want to be. They feel like they have to be. They're terrified of all the pressure from the mob. And the mob isn't just stopping at trying to pressure companies. They are literally taking people off the air. You know this beautiful explosion of freedom we're seeing with the truckers up in Canada, standing up against the mandates? And it's a beautiful thing. They're trying to do it in the United States, and they are doing it. Truckers are not going to be stopped. Do you know they had a truckers convoy Facebook